Welcome to the most important Chinese-Russian border town you've never heard of. Suifenhe accepts Russian rubles as well as Chinese yuan, and you can use those Russian rubles to buy Russian things like fur and vodka. The Chinese people that live here apparently also speak Russian. Now, my Russian is terrible, but it's a hell of a lot better than my Chinese. So this is speaking Russian to Chinese people in a Chinese-Russian border town, and also maybe learning about the town and maybe having a drink as well. Let's go. Sir, вы говорите по-русски? По-русски. Говорит? Да? Я хочу в центр. Центр. Мне можно в центр. Город центр. Центр. Город центр.
Там, да?
Да.
Там, да?
Да.
Поехали. Там что, фото, что ли?
Да.
Ты русский и английский?
Английский.
Ты английский?
Да, английский. Не русский. Не русский. Мой китайский очень плохой.
赵姐，你问问他要干啥？
Куда? Что вы хотите?
Что? Центр. Да.
他不是俄罗斯人。
对，他不是，他是
Откуда ты? Китай. Вы говорите хорошо русский, по-русски.
给他吃东西。
行，我走了。
啊，拜拜。
拜拜。
До свидания. Какой лет живет здесь?
Все, я не... Все.
Fucking hell. Oh god, my Russian isn't as good as I thought it was.
Ты English.
English, да, я из Англии. Что? How many? Сколько лет живет Suifenhe?
Я понял. Я здесь живу.
Да.
Вырос сколько? 27.
Хорошо.
Чуть английский, чуть русский. Я не понимаю.
Тоже мне чуть-чуть по-русски. Чуть-чуть говорю по-русски. Я хочу очень хорошо отель. Отель. The center, да. So not that long ago, like most of China, this was all just rivers and forests. And then at the turn of the 20th century, the Russian Empire made a deal with the Qing dynasty to build a railway directly through northeast China, which was at the time called Manchuria. And it gave them direct access to Vladivostok. Vladivostok is Russia's only Pacific port, and it's only 100 kilometers from here. And this town, Suifenhe, is the very, very last town, and has always been the very, very last town before you reach Russia. So it's a huge hub of trade between Russia and China. Not always. There's times when Russia and China weren't friends anymore. They had a little breakup. We're going to go into all of that, and we're going to learn about it, and we're going to speak to the people in very, very bad Russian. Пока. Пока. Thank you, sir. Cool. Hey. 你好, привет. Cool. See, look, we've got, even in the center of this town, big Russian writing there. Detskaya can't see. Imleria. Oh god, I don't know. But I just find these kind of border towns, I find them so interesting and fascinating, because they're one of the only places in the world where you really get like such a in-your-face look at two cultures side by side. You know? And this is a town I'd never even bloody heard of before, and look at it. Looks like bloody Piccadilly Circus. So I was going to come here anyway, actually, because I'm learning Russian, and I wanted to just kind of come somewhere to practice. I haven't got a Russian visa at the moment. I want to go to Kazakhstan at some point. But I just thought, look, I'm in China, I'll come and check this out. And actually, you know, it'd make for a fun video as well, because you just get to see me bloody fumbling my way through life. So, a few things I want to do. Here's the challenge. Taxi. Thank God that's over. That was a painful experience. book into a hotel, eat food at a restaurant, and maybe have a drink later on, and maybe meet some Russian Chinese. So that's the plan anyway. Let's go and look for a hotel, shall we? Извините, я учу по-русски. Где хорошо отель? Отель здесь?
Тут много отелей.
Много. Хорошо. Everywhere.
Ну, там отели будут. Здесь так, наверное, вот тут отель.
Мы живем в матрешке.
Хорошо.
Матрешка.
Матрешка. Хорошо.
Это прямо вниз туда.
Хорошо, спасибо. God, there are so many Russians here. So many Russians. I'm going to show you on a map where we are. We're so far east here in China. And look, Marina Svazi. Здравствуйте. Вы говорите по-русски? Чуть-чуть? Чуть-чуть. Я из Англии. Нет русский. Да, английский, да. Сколько лет живет Suifenhe?
Нас 50.
Toys for naughty people. 你好. Здравствуйте. Я хочу русский лайтер. Да.
Какая надо?
Один. Какая? Да. Спасибо.
Ты не русский?
На, есть Англии. Я из Англии. Англичанин.
Америка.
На, Англичанин. Англии. Ингва, да. Сколько стоит? Hi, how are you? Hi guys. Say hi. Out of all of the Chinese cities I've been to, Suifenhe strikes me as like the least Chinese. You know, it was developed as an outpost for the Russians and eventually developed into a city. And then nothing bad here ever happened ever again. Just kidding. In 1931, Japan invaded northeast China, then called Manchuria, and they recognized, for 14 years they were here, and they recognized Suifenhe as the front line against the Soviet Union, and it became a hotspot for intelligence and espionage. So if you were a local living here, if you were a Chinese local living here, your life was under strict control, strict oppression by the Japanese, and it would not have been a very nice place to live at all for a non-Japanese. Yonsen. That doesn't say hotel. I mean, it says hotel in English. What's Yonsen? Ты говоришь по-русски? Чуть-чуть. У меня нет бронь. Мне нужен номер. Один номер, да. Да, сколько...
Хорошая, это 168. Это нормально 138 юаней. Какой я хочу?
Хочу...
Хорошая это надо.
Я хочу один ночь.
Да, 1 киловатт.
Да. Да. Большой. Да. Один ночь.
168, поняла? 168 юаней.
Хорошо.
Это юани рубли.
Alipay yuan. Какой этаж? Спасибо.
Тебе русский, да?
Англии, я из Англии. Почему мой русский очень плохой?
Подожди. Это номер, это потом.
Хорошо,谢谢. Где лифт?
Это лифт.
Спасибо. That was so painful. The thing is, when you learn a language, you just need to get out there and just throw yourself in the deep end, and it's going to be awful, it's going to be painful. Maybe don't do what I did and go to a Chinese town and speak to Chinese people in Russian. Это русский ресторан?
Да. Давай.
Да. Хорошо. Спасибо. Я хочу Очень хорошо. Русский. Я
Много китайский.
слушает пиво.
Пиво, ага.
Пиво, да.
Разлив.
Что пиво?
Пиво креветки.
Да.
Селедки тоже можно.
Да, 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 да.
Селедки.
Сладкий, да.
Нет, селедки.
Селедки. Селедки.
И малиновые селедки. И можно креветки с пива тоже пойдет.
Пиво. Хорошо пиво.
Сразу.
Извините, мой русский очень плохой.
Сама откуда?
Я из Англии.
Англии.
Англии, да. Да.
What's your name?
Michael.
Michael. You're my
Nice to meet you, brother. Luckily, they've got pictures in this restaurant because there are about 10 foods that I know how to say in Russian, such as kartoffel frit. And we've got a bunch of Russian ladies laughing at me. Спасибо, счастье.
Michael.
Счастье.
Креветки или селедки?
Креветки.
Креветки, да.
Да.
Хорошо. Маленькие, вареные.
Да.
С масами.
Да. Хорошо. Спасибо. I don't know. I don't know what he asked me. I know that he asked me this or this. And I just said the first thing. So we'll see what he comes back with.
Ты русский?
Ты русский не? Я из Англии.
Ну, русский...
Русский, да, чуть-чуть по-русски.
Я тоже чуть-чуть.
Я мой русский, мой по-русски очень плохой.
Нормально, вариант.
Спасибо. Откуда ты?
Харбин.
Харбин? Как,
Нет.
сколько лет?
34 лет.
Хорошо.
Почти здесь.
Хорошо. Нравится Suifenhe?
Да, нравится. Первый раз катаю.
Again?
Первый раз?
Пиво?
Нет, первый раз Суифенhe. Первый раз?
В раз.
Нет, Суифенhe сколько раз пели?
Да.
Первый Суифенhe.
Да, один.
Один раз. Нет, который это читать, могу читать или нет?
Нет, мясо.
Мясо.
Это.
Это курица.
Мясо, я. Картофель фрит.
点这点太
Oh,
好
no,
了
I
呢
ordered some shrimps.，
点头条可是右排呢。
Спасибо.
肉排是不是就鸡排啊？
Спасибо.
不知道。
So it turns out that when he asked me, do you want this or do you want this, which I didn't know either of them were, one of them was an entire plate of prawns. Здравствуйте. Вы русский? Откуда ты? Москва?
Владивосток.
Владивосток.
А давай по-английски, поговори
По-английски, да.
Ну поговори, английский учит.
Я учу.
А ты русский учишь.
Я учу русский, мой русский очень плохой, but I can practice English with you if you like, of course. Вы путешествовать в Китай? Да, тоже.
А вы откуда?
Откуда?
мы слышали.
Из Англии, Лондон. Да, я живу в Вьетнам. Да. Извините, мой русский очень плохой.
Очень хороший.
Yeah, thank you so much. Спасибо.
Видеоблогер?
Again?
Вы видеоблогер?
Блогер, да, я блогер, я работаю блогер, да, работаю блогер. Да, YouTube.
А как называется?
Как называется?
YouTube канал.
YouTube, да, Mike OK. Да, спасибо, Mike OK. I'll write it down for you. Cool.
Когда будешь в Владивостоке, пиши.
Да.
Покажем город.
Okay, for context, right, I've been learning Russian for, I'd say 3 months, like maybe 5 hours a week, but I've had a week off here, week off there when I was traveling, maybe not 5 hours a week, maybe like 3 hours a week. Thank you to my lovely Russian teacher, Natalie, who has been putting up with my just awful way of learning. And I was not hitting on those girls. It's just cool to like speak another fucking language with them and ask for their contact and everything. Hi.
Take pictures.
Of course we can take a picture. Yeah, of course we can.
selfie.
One more.
One more. Like this. I'll do like this.
This, okay.
Да.
Не, я посередине, я вот так.
Okay.
Вот так,
Like
да.
this.
Да. One more.
Okay.
Всё.
Очень приятно. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Foreigners cannot go inside?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, thank you. Oh. We've come all this way. No, not about 9-minute drive. We've come all this way to see the Russian border, and foreigners are not allowed to go inside. I'd imagine it's some kind of security risk. They do not want English men roaming around willy-nilly on the border of Russia. Well, this is turning out to be the worst YouTube video anyone's ever made. We're not allowed to go in it, but... Ni hao. Ni hao. How are you, brother? Good. Hi. Yes, let's take a picture together, brother. Okay. 好的. Okay. 谢谢.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
God, you can't record a bit of historical information here in China to save your life without getting interrupted. We're not allowed to go there because the Chinese are racists. In 1945, the Soviet Red Army stormed Manchuria, kicking out Japanese forces in literally days and handing over control of the entire region back over to China after 14 years of Japanese occupation. Good. Do you want to come and say hello? Do you want to come and be in my video? Go on. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, hello. Yeah. Yeah, let's take a photo. Yeah, lovely. 谢谢. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Bye. China and the Soviet Union remained very close allies for years after the Japanese occupation. But in 1960, that relationship started to break down. They couldn't agree on things, one of them being who had the better version of communism. So in 1960, they froze this border. They shut it down, and the Soviets pulled out of China, and what was once a gateway between these two worlds, these two nations, became a garrison town, became the front line of this ongoing feud. What have I just dropped? Now that went on for 31 years. For 31 years, this border was frozen. And then the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. The borders opened and Russians poured in like it was nobody's business. Trade exploded. Vodka, timber, seafood, electronics. And Suifenhe in 2010 became the first official country in all of China to be allowed to trade with Russian rubles. And now it exists, it literally exists because of trade with Russia. And which is why we have, you know, Odezhda u Marin, clothes shop, restaurant Baikal, restaurant Baikal, named after the lake Baikal. And which is why the streets are just flooded with Russians. Now then, I want to go and have some Russian vodka, don't you? Cocktail bar. Looks like the seediest bar I've ever seen in my entire life. Is it even going to be open? Нет. Hey! Fucking hell. Hi! How are you, brother? You okay? Fucking hell. Jesus, scared the shit out of me. I've exhausted all of the Russian I know and all of my historical knowledge about Suifenhe. So, we're winging it now. This is it. This is the part. If you want to see the parts of the video where I don't know what's going on, this is where that starts. Oh, 你好。
你好。
你好。你好嘛。
一路平安，祝你。
Ah, thank you. 谢谢。Oh, you get a picture? Yeah, let's get a picture. Sir, come. Yeah, here we go. We're fighting over. Here we go. Let's have a picture.
Hey.
Hey.
汤姆。
汤姆。哎，哇。汤姆。 I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is, cocktail bar is open. The bad news is, cocktail bar is open. Thank you, sir.
Максим и попугай. У Максима есть попугай. Его зовут Гриша. Гриша живет в клетке. Он красный, веселый и немного хитрый.
So this is it. This is the old Suifenhe railway station. This was the last stop on the Chinese Eastern Railway. These railway tracks didn't just give birth to this town, but they changed the course of history for the whole of northeast China. These railway tracks are the reason why this was a Japanese stronghold, the reason why this is was a Soviet gateway, and today why it's such a strong hub between the two countries. It's the reason why people were born here, had families here, grew up here, their entire lives were here, just because of these railway tracks. And I came here not looking for an adventure. I came here just to practice my Russian and to try to have a bit of a deeper understanding of why, you know, sometimes small towns are just as important as the big ones.